it's a big win, and it's a big confidence boost for the Michigan Wolverines because they were playing probably the best defense they're going to see until Ohio State, and even maybe a better defense than Ohio State. And still were able to put up 27 points. And still were able to get the ball moving on the ground. JJ did enough to be relevant and good for the game. Our buddy Paul graded him out as like a B for the game because just the way that he was able to, there's still some alignment issues, all those other things that will get cleaned up, but I think people need to start taking some notice of Blake Corum a little bit because that dude can run the rock. I mean, that move that he put on that all Big Ten linebacker at the end of the game to score that final touchdown I was amazed. I saw a lot, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he just did that. And then I saw the behind view and I was like, whoa. I didn't even know going that fast you could move that quick and make a guy miss that bad. And Michigan should come out of Iowa with all the confidence in the world saying we could beat anybody.
I mean, what we've seen as far as what Georgia did this week with South Carolina did not look impressive at all. Or, sorry, no. NC State? I don't know. I can't remember which one Clemson played and which one Georgia played. But
Missouri.
Oh, yeah, Georgia, Missouri. Sorry. Yeah, with Georgia with Missouri. Yeah, sorry. And Clemson played NC State. Yeah, with Georgia, what they did with Missouri, and that Missouri was controlling that with their defense and keeping Georgia kind of on their heels. Georgia's beatable. This is not last year's Georgia team. Alabama is not unstoppable either this year. There is no real, from what I've seen, just legit nobody's going to beat this team kind of team this year. And so Michigan, with having these other games, obviously because you don't do anything, it's Ohio State at the end of the year. So there's plenty of time to continue to work on things for JJ and the offense. But JJ's abilities add another level to what your offense can be and make you even more dangerous, that you should be thinking that you can play with anybody this year.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you the game I'm most nervous about, though, is
Penn
4
State?
weeks from now when they travel to Rutgers.
What? You're afraid of Greg Schiano?
No, I'm not afraid of Greg Schiano, but big win at Iowa, Indiana this weekend, at home against Penn State, big game, at home against Michigan State, and we know how bad Michigan State's defense has been, but they always seem to rise to the occasion against Michigan, and then the following week you go to Rutgers. I'm not saying, I don't think that Michigan's going to lose that game, but I think it does present a type of trap game for Michigan. Like, look, the talent level is going to win out. I'm not saying Michigan's going to lose that game to Rutgers. What I'm saying is that's a game that you need to have circled on the schedule to say, okay, we need to come ready to play that game because it could potentially be a big trap.
I mean, I understand what you're saying.
It could be some cause for concern.
I think if you guys, and I expect you guys to be,
Nebraska, who we don't believe is as bad as Scott Frost coached them to be.
Stop it. You're not losing to Nebraska. Stop it. You guys should be undefeated going into the Rutgers game.
I'm not saying that we're going to lose either of these games. We should be. 100% we should be. Again, there's always that tendency to get trapped in a game, and we've seen it before. I'm not saying that it's going – I'm just saying that's a game that I have circled to say, okay, if there's ever going to be a letdown, like, they'll still win because their talent's going to win out. But if there's ever going to be a letdown, like, that could be the game that I would look at and be like, yeah, that makes sense. Penn State, Michigan State, and then at Rutgers.
It's just you have to have a pretty good offense to put a scare into Michigan. And I don't think Rutgers has that good of an offense this year where they can put the scare to Michigan. Yes, you could make some mistakes, but I think your pass rush is the questionable part of the Michigan team as a whole this year with all the people you had to replace that went into the NFL. So that's where the worry would be. I just don't think Rutgers has the offense to put that scare into you guys. A Penn State, I understand because that you guys, there's just that battle. Obviously, Ohio State to finish off the year is the game, but I think you need something of a dynamic offense to put a scare.
Yeah, I'm talking about before you get to the Ohio State game, right? If you want to get listen, again, I got to reiterate the fact that they're not going to lose to Rutgers. I'm just saying it's a game that you look at and go, it could make, like, I'll be as bold to say the only way that Michigan loses before they get to Ohio State is by beating themselves and through mistakes that they make.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
And the good thing is, y'all haven't done that.
We really haven't.
You played really clean football.
But like even Penn State, I'll take Jim Harbaugh over James Franklin any day of the week.
Every day.
Michigan State, you don't have the offensive firepower, I think, to beat us. And your defense, is Swiss cheese. So, the fact that Michigan was able to run the ball as well as they did against Iowa means that your run defense at Michigan State does not scare me in the slightest.
Right.
And if JJ wants to throw the ball, we know that JJ will be able to throw the ball at will against Michigan State.
Yep, but I am not looking forward to the game this year.
For whatever reason, Michigan State always shows up against Michigan. So
of course, it's their biggest rival. It's not your biggest rival. It's their biggest rival.
They're going to expend a lot more energy. No, it's not. It's not. I don't know. I like the way they're playing. I'm very confident in the way that they're playing. I'm glad that JJ's the starter. I think that was the right decision, but it's funny to me because his stat lines don't look much different than what Cade's looked like last year, but yet Cade was getting ripped up and down. I mean, what did he... I'd have to go back and look at the stats because I don't have them offhand, but he only threw for 168 yards last week or something like that. It was not a, insane amount of yardage. And I think
it was 150-something yards. I think it was 155 yards, but he didn't throw that many times either.
Those are right, but wasn't that the complaint about Cade McNamara? They can't throw because Cade can't. But it's just funny to me that was the argument to get Cade out, and now that Cade is out, it's still exactly what's happening with Michigan football. Because this team is a run-first team because of how good their run game is. You don't need a guy to hawk the ball 40 times. And it's just interesting. I had to make that point at some point because I'm like, these stats are not different than Cade's. They're doggone nearly the same.
The running stats are a little bit better than Cade's when he chooses to use his legs. He's definitely more mobile than Cade is.
Yeah, naturally they're going to be.
But so hats off to you for a great game against Iowa. You came out right off the bat, an 11-play, 75-yard drive, just set the tone that way. Because if it goes the other way, you go 3 and out. Now the crowd's going nuts, and it's going to be a whole different ball game. But by you guys just marching down the field methodically, it just continued to keep the Iowa fans a little bit in check. They couldn't be as ruckus as they can get, obviously. And, before you knew it, you'd scored on 4 of your first 5 drives. And now you got an Iowa offense that can't do anything and didn't do anything until there was basically no time left in the game. So from a Michigan State fan to you, hats off to you. Hell of a win, hell of a game. And I'm not looking forward to when the Spartans and Wolverines get together this year because we're going to get boat rocked about 55-9. Be 3 field goals for Michigan State.
Hey, Ryan Griffin here. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Griffin and Bass. Be sure to give us your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to click the bell to receive the latest notifications from DSN and subscribe for breaking news, community blogs, polls, contests, and other content.